So today we're going to talk about the top 3 changes you would want to implement when it comes to decreasing inflammation. One of the biggest things we see with most people is that they have too much sugar. So we have the common thing that most people do is corn syrup, and I want to show you how so many times this toxic sugar is not only creating inflammation but disease and even cancer. This is so toxic. So step number 1 is looking at the sugar that you're consuming. Now we know that many of our food today, specifically these foods that you see on this side, are filled with lots of sugar, and we talk about the number 1 toxic sugar is corn syrup. So things like soda that has high fructose corn syrup, and you have now lots of sports and athletes using Gatorade that, again, people think it's good but has tons of sugar, not to mention also lots of additives and chemicals. Then we have the sugar that we have on top of sugar. So we have ice cream, and then we have to add more sugar. And not only is this toxic, this has corn syrup, which is just really destroying our health. So when it comes to changes in sugar, we want to first get rid of the toxic sugar. So then you have the next phase, which is getting back to real sugar. So if we were going to have real sugar, we would have, I don't have it here, but honey, maple syrup, things like cane sugar. These are the sugars that God made that we want to start implementing. And then most diseases are still coming from inflammation because of sugar. So in order to make drastic changes in your health is actually getting rid of those things that have sugar altogether. Like for instance, we know that fruit is very beneficial because of all the vitamins that you get from it, but yet it's still high in sugar. So tropical fruits such as pineapple and mangoes and bananas and all these fruits that we love and we crave because they are, they have the sweet taste we desire. Yet we want to go and start changing the kind of fruits we have. And so on this side over here, we typically implement lots of low glycemic sugars that are found in fruits such as green apples, berries, all berries like raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, which have very low influence on your sugar spikes. So they're low in glycemic index. So these are the ones that you would want to change. And then lastly, if you want to sweeten things with sugars that have no effect on your glycemic index, these are the things that are still natural sources, yet they sweeten, but they're made out of plants. And so when it comes to toxic sweeteners such as Splenda and NutraSweet and Equal, these are toxic in the fact that they're man-made. So you would want to substitute, specifically if you're diabetic, with some of these options. Monk fruit is one of them. I don't have it here. This is xylitol that comes from birch tree. You also have erythritol. And my favorite is stevia, which again is coming from an herbal plant. So these are the sweeteners that you can use in some of the recipes that we have here available for you. We like this whenever we're doing it for drinks or lemonade or tea. We sweeten things with stevia. Sometimes for baking, erythritol or xylitol work best, or monk fruit. So you'll be seeing those in a lot of our recipes. So start changing the sugars. Now, when it comes to carbohydrates specifically, we will focus that in another section, but there's also grain that turns to sugar. So when we talk about just getting rid of sugars altogether, you want to make sure that you understand that grain turns to sugar. So you would want to change the type of grain, and we will focus that on another section to get more in detail with that topic.